Hey, here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like hi-fi equipment, speakers, DACs, amps, turntables, receivers should cost more than everything I Got a New Record Today uses to make his fancy pants videos and post them on the YouTube networks. They shouldn't cost more than a Canon C200, a few studio lights, a shotgun microphone, and a dumb Apple laptop with a touch bar that nobody likes. Yep, hi-fi equipment shouldn't cost more than all of that combined, and these don't. What are they? They're the GR Research Desktop Minis. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about the GR Research Desktop Minis. Today's sponsor is, come on Canon. I should have bought a Sony. Like Randy did. Today's show sponsor is R&R's Golden Ear Elixir. Do you have a problem? Sorry, I messed that up. Let me do that again. When you have the problem of deciding which elixir to drink before critically listening to the Desktop Minis, there can only be one, R&R's. It has some water in it, but mostly sugar and enough caffeine to kill a small elephant. R&R LLC Corporation told me no elephants were harmed in making this elixir, but they do know that it's possible. Please, don't let elephants drink this elixir. One can of R&R costs $18, and you only need one to know if you like it. No money back guarantee. That means you don't get your money back, and that's a guarantee. With the purchase of 10 cans or more, R&R is including cable risers that will ship in 4 to 48 weeks. They aren't very good, but they are free except for the shipping and handling. The Desktop Mini is a do-it-yourself bookshelf speaker that you can buy from GR Research. The kit includes all the caps, capacitors, inductors, and resistors you need to put the speaker together. The tweeter and woofer are aluminum dome drivers, and doing a quick tap test, that sounds pretty good. After you build these, which shouldn't take more than a weekend because they include the flat packs, you got yourself a little desktop speaker. How little are they? Well, I wanted to get Noah, but I couldn't find Noah, so I have Snow White. And Snow White standing on the Desktop Mini, they are bigger than her. So guessing what was Noah's size or her size, I'd say the Desktop Minis are probably closer to the size of Noah's Ark. Yep, that's pretty close. Oh, all the parts included in the minis are high quality. You won't get any sandcast resistors, electrolytic caps, or cheesy inductors that are wound using dental floss. You can also upgrade the Mini. More on that later. I found these speakers to be moderately hard to drive. They are 85 dB sensitive, but they are an 8 ohm load, so not as bad as if they were, say, 6 or 4 ohms. I mostly listen to these speakers with my Hagel H390 integrated amplifier. This amplifier is complete overkill. It doesn't really make any sense that I used it, but Hagel hasn't asked for it back, and since I have it, I used it, and trust me, if you had it, you would use it too. I also tried the SMSL 8018, which is this little guy. Come on, Canon. Anyway, this is the 8018, and it makes a lot more sense to use these with the Desktop Minis because these are affordable, and they do bring enough juice to wake up the Minis, which worked out really well. I also tried the new SMSL A1, and you know what? I liked these more with the 8018 than I did with the A1, which is good news because the 8018, this guy, is only like $140. Comes with a built-in DAC that's not very good, but it does the job, and offers Bluetooth for streaming. Again, not very good, but it does the job. Whereas the A1 doesn't come with any of that stuff. It is Class A, but it's also $649, and honestly, it didn't sound nearly as robust as the 8018 with the desktop minis. So there you go. And there is no subwoofer outputs on the A1 and no built-in DAC, like I mentioned, no Bluetooth, so it's kind of dumb, but it is Class A. Let's talk about soundstage. Alice in Chains. Okay, this was very good. These are very small speakers, but they won't sound small when it comes to their reach in soundstage. Vocals were a little thin, but I'll get to that in the mid-range. The mini throws soundstage both deep and wide. I liked it. Center imaging is rock solid and very precise. It's easy to lock on to the individual artists in the band and easy to distinguish their locations. The stage sounded real and lifelike when it came down to the holographic-like performance. Let's talk about bass. Okay, the bass is fine. It's fine. It's tight. It sounds good, but it does not extend very low. The Mini is a sealed speaker, and they are small, about the size of Noah's Ark. But here is the thing. The bass rolls off really nicely. This means if you're going to use these in anything other than even a small office, I would suggest getting a subwoofer to fill these out, but it's going to be easy to integrate these with a sub. Also, bass presence is there, but I gotta say there isn't as much texture or tone as the XLS Encores, so that will answer that question now. Miles Davis, so what? Everything sounded like it should, and depending on the recording and music style, the lack of really deep bass might not bug you. Anyhow, there is some bass clarity and some good tone going on in these speakers, but there is not a lot of deep bass. Get the minis and get a subwoofer. Sometimes you can find them in your neighbor's trash cans and vintage receivers in trash cans. Because there isn't a huge amount of bass going on here, lower mids can sound a little thin. Male vocals aren't super full, but I'll say that for a small desktop speaker, it's just enough. Yeah. It doesn't feel like anything is really missing. Upper mid-range is quite good on these. I would say that this is perhaps a mid-forward speaker, and in the upper mids, it walks the line of being airy and more detail-centric. Remember, these are aluminum dome drivers, and I do think that while these are never offensive, they do sound a little more vivid and detailed than paper cone drivers and soft dome tweeters. Female vocals sound fantastic. Male vocals sound good, but maybe a little thin. It's fine. It's passable. They make up for it with their detail and clarity. The Redemption Song by Bob Marley, fantastic. Tracy Chapman, Give Me One Reason, fantastic. Very detailed, very good, very realistic. Let's talk about treble. I'd say the standout on this speaker is the soundstage and the upper half of the mids and the treble, which is very detailed. Without seeming in your face, cymbal hits are very tactile, very realistic sounding. The decay is very good. Harvester of Sorrow. Tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick, tick. Shh. Shh. Very good. Metallica. Very good. There's enough detail and snap with percussion that this speaker sounds very enjoyable. I pushed these speakers very hard and they got a lot louder than I expected. The bass would eventually fart out, but they never put me into any kind of listening fatigue, and I liked that a lot. What are my final thoughts? Final thoughts. Okay, they are good to very good at $199. Very good kit. Okay, but there is some competition out there. As I said before, Danny from GR Research does offer upgrades on the minis, and you can do that, but adding it all up, I gotta say, you are gonna get close to the Encores, which are a better speaker in every category. But I like these for what they are, a small desktop speaker. Okay, so if you get this kit, go buy a sub for $100, $200, and you're going to be fine. This is a very good speaker. It lacks a little bit on the lower mid-range, mid-bass, and bass, a little bit of lack in body, but a sub will bring that back, and you will certainly like these. Do I recommend this kit? Yes, you're probably going to want to get a subwoofer with them. I do think there are enough redeeming qualities, especially in soundstage, clarity, precision, upper mid-range, and top-end extension. So don't binge watch anything. Binge listen through your new desktop minis by GR Research and maybe a new sub, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm Ron. And while I'm not the cheap audio man, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun doing it. And everything that I actually said in this is exactly how I feel about the desktop minis. The bottom line, the quick run through, as I just mentioned in this little fun video that I did here, just keep in mind that with the desktop minis, you're gonna have clarity and precision, especially when it comes to top end extension, upper mid-range. They're gonna sound a lot larger than you would ever expect if you just fill in that bottom octave. That's all you gotta do. Throw a couple of subs in there and you're ready to rock and roll. Desktop mini kit, $199. Hard to not recommend that with quite a bit of enthusiasm. As you start adding upgrades onto the mini, like I said in this review, I think that's where it gets a little bit harder because you're now entering the price of the Encores. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that the Encores stomp these in every possible category. So, yeah. There was nothing in here. All right, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.